The governor of the Indonesian capital, Jakarta, says at least 6 people have been killed in clashes there. That's between the police and opponents of newly re-elected President Joko Widodo. The violence broke out after the Election Commission confirmed Widodo's victory in last month's polls. The main opposition candidate said he believed there had been widespread cheating. More than 200 people are reported injured, and police say they have made at least 20 arrests. Well, for more, let's go straight over to Jakarta. I'm joined by journalist Ricardo Perez Solero. Last night, I understand mobs clashed with security forces there. Tell us, how did that develop, and what's the situation there now?
Well, at the moment, the situation is already somehow calm. No one really expected what happened through the night, starting yesterday night and finishing this morning. The governor of Jakarta said that 6 people have died and
Indonesia's capital gripped by mayhem for a second night. Flames, Molotov cocktails, firecrackers, rioters, many of them extremists, held nothing back. Their target, police, only allowed to fire rubber pellets. At times, the mobs had small wins, seizing police shields, even a police vehicle. But 50,000 security force personnel had the upper hand, taking hundreds into custody. A tense moment when officers feared this lone woman was a suicide bomber. Refusing their orders to sit and only retreating in a smog of tear gas. Today, the worrying reminders remained of where rioters at times managed to breach security lines. Authorities set about re-establishing barricades in preparation for whatever violence may still be to come. But after many of these arrested rioters were found with envelopes of cash, police insist they're narrowing in on provokers.
Saya juga.
The re-elected president saying he will not tolerate disruptions to security, democracy or the unity of his beloved country. In Jakarta, Renee Henry, 9 News. Well, the feeling on Jakarta streets this morning can really only be described as eerie and tense. This is the highway, the main highway through the centre of Jakarta, and it is shut down this morning. And that's because this is one of the election offices that is under threat. And if we walk around here, you can see over there, once again, police are forming a wall from one side of the highway to the other. And that's because we understand that the supporters of Prabowo Subianto are starting to gather yet again, and that is after a night of absolute chaos. In some of the vision we've seen shot by the rioters themselves, we can see them torching vehicles, pelting and slingshotting fireworks and other missiles towards police. In response to those attacks, police, a bolstered force now, which we understand is about 50,000 members strong, they were using tear gas and water cannons. Authorities are insisting that their forces are not armed with live ammunition. They say that that is in line with their policies when it comes to dealing with these public elections, but that is despite the threat of terrorism and even sniper attacks. Now, at least one hospital has confirmed to media outlets that it has taken in one person who suffered chest wounds and has died and is treating dozens more injured people. That's one hospital alone, so you'd have to assume there's similar situations going on in other hospitals. Of course, this is all in response to that election result that was released by the Election Commission in the early hours of yesterday morning. Incumbent Joko Widodo was announced the president for a second term, and it is the supporters of his losing opponent Prabowo Subianto who aren't happy. They're the ones who are taking to the streets. They say that their figurehead has been the victim of election cheating and of election fraud. You can stay up to date with the very latest on 9news.com.au, and we'll bring you the very latest in 9 News at 6.